Hey everyone! Well, it's going to be an exciting week. Tomorrow, the welder comes. He's going to erect 4 posts. Mentioned that before. The following day, a crane is going to come and drop a 50-foot steel beam onto those posts. It's an epic week. And today, I have all the things necessary. I got the form material, the rebar, the ties, and this started. So we're gonna get that formed up today. And I decided to make my own NaviJack because I have some drain rock that I stashed over here, if you remember, a little while ago. And NaviJack is made out of washed sand and drain rock mixed. That's NaviJack. The rock give the cement the strength. Like rebar in a way, gives concrete strength. So I picked up a load of sand and I'm gonna mix my own. Why not? I've got everything and I'll save a little bit of money. In fact, I should save quite a bit of money by not having a concrete truck come here or a pumper truck or anything like that. Yeah, so moving on bravely, in a good way these days, but summer is definitely running out, so we'll see what the next few weeks bring. Woo! Well, they're here and it's taking place. The first step that involves the steel. 2 guys are here. As I said many times before, they're erecting 2 short posts on the 2 far ends of the house and 2 long posts on those big mammoth footings that I poured. It seems like so long ago, but it wasn't so long ago. And it's really cool and super fun. I'll show you one of the posts. Here's one of the steel posts. It has these bolts welded on so that you can mount a 2x6, and they're on both sides. So you can mount a 2x6 and frame up against the post. Also, I have formed up this little wall here, and it has rebar in it and the whole deal. And so I'm doing that while they're working on the vertical posts. And as I mentioned before, and I'll show you now again, I'm mixing up my own NaviJack by mixing some sand, 4 parts sand, 6 parts drain rock, and concrete. Interesting thing, I call it NaviJack. For everybody else out in the world there, they probably don't. This is a term only used in the British Columbia region, as a navvy was a British laborer and back in the day. And this guy named Jack, who was working on, I think, one of the bridges back in the day in Vancouver, he came up with this mix, I guess. So they call it NaviJack, but I don't think anybody else would call it that. I've always called it that, but I never realized that until I Googled it last night. Kind of interesting. So no wonder people are a little confused when I talk about NaviJack. Anyway, I don't even know what the real term would be. Concrete mix, or I don't know what they would normally call that. Anyway, if you know, let me know. Alrighty, I'll show you some more. And as they erect them down there. It's hard to believe, but I just find that really exciting. And it's so cool. So totally cool. Number 3. And there they go. And they'll be back tomorrow morning to do even more exciting work, putting the beam on. It's so cool. It's just something I can't do, steel fabrication. I'd like to learn how to do welding one day. Yeah. And no problems either. No, whoops, we forgot this. Or I think they did forget a little something. They had to cut a half an inch off the top, so that's unfortunate. However, nothing that would prohibit us from moving forward tomorrow, now that the crane has already been arranged 2 weeks ago. So cool. I'm just so happy with that. Well, this is absolutely incredible. The crane truck is here, and it's just mind-boggling. Check this out. Okay, gotta take the kid to school. You ready to go to school? Okay. Well, I had to take Brielle to school. I hope I haven't missed the action beam. The beam action. This is undoubtedly one of the most exciting days of this endeavor. Even if I fail, this will be a memory that I will never forget. Just to be involved with something like this is unique. Not everybody has a chance to do something like this. Other people, it's a regular deal. Shit, they're just putting it on now. I was hoping I wasn't gonna miss this. Damn it. I'm glad I was here for this. Hey. He's the boss. He's giving these other guys instructions like a boss should. It's his show. So this is structural steel. It has to be a special kind of steel. This is way, I mean, based on the description, I knew what dimensions it was. But when you see it for real, it's just so much more, I don't know, just huge. Get a load of this crane. Dudes, I don't know how anybody could back that thing out onto the Trans-Canada Highway here. That's just freaking scary. And they do it like, oh, it's no big deal. It's casual. No problem. We'll get that out on the highway, no problem. I'll be freaking out. Guess you get used to it like anything else. A lot of people wouldn't want to do what I do. But you get used to it. Play music in front of a bunch of strangers. I think this guy's done an awesome job. I actually hadn't anticipated, I kind of screwed up. I didn't think there was 2 plates on top of the steel beam. Obviously, there would be. So when you see all this 2x6 stacked up on this one wall here, it's to compensate for that discrepancy. So I had to put a couple more plates on here. But I can tell you right now, as I look down, it's right on the money. They line up perfectly. And you thank the welder for helping me calculate that out. It's hard when you don't know what you're doing, but people help you and you get through it. Welding up the first one right here. This stuff, it's so heavy duty. It's so heavy duty that it has to go right. If it's a problem, what do? Send the beam back? I'm actually quite impressed with the care and accuracy that he's taking. Everything is precise as far as I can see at this point, and it just doesn't happen instantly. Everything has to be square, everything has to be straight, everything has to be perfect. It blows my mind that these little 4-inch posts on the end support this entire beam. that reminds me of the metal we used to use at my dad's furniture company when I was a kid. Not to mention it holding up an entire structural beam like that. Well, you know, you're flipping through a few pennies and there's a bunch of guys running all over your property. It's like that on poor day too. There's a whole bunch of people here. But hey, creating employment for the good citizens of your community when you do this kind of thing. It's interesting when you think about that. You always think rich people. Grr. But rich people that are in business perpetuate the economy to a degree. Especially your everyday average business guy who isn't a gazillionaire, that has employees. It's kind of a noble venture. So kudos to all you business owners out there. It's a lot of responsibility for what you get out of it. And each his own. Some people like to work for people. Some people like to have people work for them. Man, that would have been fun to have the drone rooting around while that thing was happening. I just can't think of everything. I need a film crew. Look at the traffic chaos we caused. I wish I could have videoed that. This dude backing up 16-wheeler out of my driveway, stopping the Trans-Canada Highway. I had a stop sign. I didn't even feel comfortable holding a stop sign. Look at all these cars. That's like 1 minute of buildup. That's crazy. I'm just not good with driving 16-wheelers, I guess. Oh my God. We did it. I wasn't even rattled. Thanks, dude. Have a good day. It's like, all right, man. It's like a test pilot for a Aerojet space company. Gotta have pretty calm nerves. Yeah, I get rattled a little bit sometimes. I gotta be a little bit more, look at the tire prints of that. Oh my God. It's huge. So it's about September the, 8th or 9th today. I'm so glad that we were able to get this done before the rains come. Especially this driveway. I mean, this would get pretty muddy and slippery. If it was wet, I'm not sure if that would have affected the truck's performance. But, you know, removing all possible problems is optimal. just easier to move around in the building season. So now we go into a critical time. I don't know what's going to happen, if we're going to have to kind of take the winter off, but I hope not. Might even be able to. I got some surprises in the works that I'm not sharing with people right now. I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to wait before I present any plans for the future. But we'll see how things go. There might be some stuff happening around here. Wood prices have come down a great deal since the height of the wood, the inflationary wood thing. It was about $1,300 per 1,000 feet. That's how they measure it anyway. And that has come right down to about $560. So literally wood has dropped 60%. So it couldn't be a better scenario. But I want to make sure and there's been no mega fires this summer. And I don't know about floods like last year. That screwed everything up. It was one thing after the other. It's because of the floods. It's because of the fires. Oh, it's because of the, spotted owl or the ticks or whatever, the wood bugs or whatever they have. See that? That's how you do it right there, baby. That stuff has to be perfect. It's awesome. I'm literally emotionally touched. I'm moved right now. I'm verklempt. It's really a beautiful day. And later today, we're also getting a tandem load of crusher dust delivered. Wow. Well, they're on their way, and I'm sure glad I didn't blow it when I put these metal pads. Look at that. And I put that metal pad just that way, a tiny bit more, I'd have blown that. This one has a little bit. You think to make that pad wider. Nevertheless, I painstakingly had a line and made sure that they were dropped in perfectly. I mean, this one's to the left a little bit, but I'm sure glad it all worked out. There's a slight discrepancy between the top of the beam height and the top of the wall, but that's just a matter of putting wood on and evening it out. The bottom of the beam ended up being from where I'm standing to the bottom of the beam, it ended up being 7'11". So that's not quite as, it's kind of lower than what I'd hope. However, if you build a wall where the beam is, which I was hoping not to do, I like it being open. For the pipes and everything, then basically it doesn't matter. You have a 9-foot ceiling. It's quite crazy. All right, more action. Let's see, hopefully this one will come down. Perfect. Perfect. All right, why stop now? Got a load of that crusher dust this afternoon after all the action happened here, so I thought, let's shovel a little bit. So what we're going to be doing is filling up all the underneath the basement floor with crusher dust, and then we're going to tamp it. We'll probably need another load like that. And very reminiscent of where I was about this time last year. I think it was about this time last year I had a bunch of crusher dust that I had to shovel. So here we go.